Rogan.
Okay.
Who's that?
Joe Rogan.
Joseph Rogan?
Yeah, he's out of Texas.
Oh, Texas. Got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Got it.
Yeah. You love Austin, don't you?
He's running half the planet out of Texas.
Yeah.
He's got a tight hold on the enlightened meatheads.
Dude, Maron's disdain.
It's not disdain. It's reasonable criticism.
What do you think the Austin shelf life is going to be?
Well,
I don't know. Like, I think that it's so effectively tribalized at this point. It really comes down to material. I mean, at what point? It's like whatever they represented in terms of policy. And it's not a stretch. It's like they won. Trans people are frightened. They have no ability to get health care anymore, and they're afraid of being alive and have no freedom left. So that's done. When do you stop with the jokes?
When do you stop with the jokes?
And like immigrants, okay, well they're being ripped away from their homes, and they're all terrified, and okay, so that's done. When do you stop with the jokes?
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to pick on the vulnerable and the marginalized, but I mean, they're down.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
they're down.
why do you got to keep hitting them unless you're a hack? Now, there's a question.
Wow. Mark, wow.
On the Bad Friends podcast, comedian Marc Maron spoke out against Joe Rogan and the Manosphere comedians.
I would defend to the death his right to do everything he does. The thing that I find unusual, and it's not a criticism so much, but his targets are underdogs. And comedy traditionally has picked on people in power, people who abuse their power. Women and gays and immigrants are kind of, to my way of thinking, underdogs.
Why does he get away with it, do you think, then?
Well,
we have never laughed at jokes about the poor.
He's appealing. I think he's appealing largely. I think his core audience are young white males who are threatened by these groups. I think a lot of these guys aren't sure of their manhood because that's a problem when you're going through adolescence. Am I really? Could I be? I hope I'm not one of them. And the women who assert themselves and are competent are a threat to these men, and so are immigrants in terms of jobs and the
so that's why we as an audience then will laugh.
You say we. I don't think you're.
But I think you're collective we.
I think that's what is at the core of that experience that takes place in these arenas. Is a certain, a sharing of anger and rage at these targets.
And this is exactly what comedy is supposed to be about, as George Carlin stated decades ago, and Maron states to this day.
My idea of what he's done to comedy.
Sure.
And I don't think it's great. I think that it's tribalized, and I think that he's created a sort of army of people that think they know comedy, but they only know a specific thing, and what they think is good is not necessarily good. It may be what they're like, what they like, but on the outside of that, most of the sort of sensitive weirdos that we all grew up with in comedy have been sort of pushed aside, and the space for them has become limited.
And guess what? He's not wrong. He'd also take a shot at this guy.
Hello, everyone. I had the opportunity today to welcome and speak with one of the world's most outstanding current comedians. Young guy, 28 years old, Matt Rife, who's exploded onto the comedy scene in the last few years. So why did you decide to come on my podcast?
I'm a huge fan, man.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, you and I have never met. I'll be truthfully honest. I haven't done extensive research into everything you've done, but I find you to be a very kind man and very well-spoken and someone who stands on their morals and the realism of society today. And I think that is incredibly rare, and I just highly appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you. I wasn't fishing for compliments, but I do appreciate the fact that they emerged.
Comedian and Jordan Peterson fan, Matt Rife.
People are chasing numbers. They're chasing the algorithm. There are comics doing, a minute of crowd work specifically to get 1 million hits. To do what? So what we once got into for freedom, as comics, where we could sort of dictate, what we do and how we do it and our point of view and learn how to do it and build a voice and everything. Now people are just total whores to the algorithm and only chasing these clicks with no craft, no sense of originality, because all they care about is this immediate sense of relevance you get from filling a room to watch you talk to people in the audience. So,
but I'm not as judgmental as you, even though I'm a judge on AGT.
Maybe you should be. I don't want to sound like like I'm just some old man screaming at the sky. I believe, in the craft and the art, if you want to call it that, of stand-up.
Matt Rife, who I don't know his act per se.
Doesn't have one.
I don't know that. I've heard you say that.
Crowd work guy.
He would go further on the state of comedy with Vulture as well.
You wrote something after the ICE raids in LA and the bombing of Iran that I printed out. I was wondering if you could read that kind of gets at exactly that.
I'm going to read what I wrote.
Yes.
I hope all the anti-woke comics are happy about pushing this all through. The big question is, when will they shut up about trans people, intellectually challenged people, immigrants, the disabled, and minorities? I mean, they won. The policies they were supporting, whether they knew it or not, are happening. All the language and law that protected the vulnerable and marginalized and gave them a leg up have been destroyed. History is being erased and rewritten to support Christian nationalism. Creativity, tolerance, and the path to equality squashed. I hope it was all worth it so you can say the R word again.
I want to be clear about a few things, okay? Because there is a lot here. Marc Maron has feuded, maybe duked it out, metaphorically, with Joe Rogan for some time. He has not gone on Rogan's podcast in a very long time. And it's because he was going on a rant on the Bad Friends pod about how he saw Rogan as a jiu-jitsu guy, an MMA guy, and he's doing the Fear Factor thing, and then he's getting into comedy, and it's this is our sacred space. Why are you getting in it? And let's be clear, Joe Rogan is nowhere near the comic that those three guys are. I saw Bobby Lee, I think, at the Laugh Factory many, many years ago. He was good. Santino is great. Marc Maron, great. But it really it's very revealing that Maron sort of called this a while ago, and then it happened. It played out exactly how he called it. And him also calling out the Matt Rifes of the world for just being crowd work people. Yeah, you could do that. Everybody sort of does it, but I thought Howie Mandel was actually pretty spot on in his analysis that that's just the day and age we live in. And Maron, being a purist, does not like it. It's not that he doesn't see it. It's not that he doesn't appreciate it. It's that he just doesn't like it. It's not his cup of tea in comedy. And I take his word for it. There could be some hilarious moments. There could be some funny moments. But what really stuck out to me was that he said, yeah, I did that in my late teens. It's damn. The thing that made that one guy famous through TikTok, you literally did when you were 18. And you perfected it at 18 or 19. But what is most troubling is how he's saying these MAGA comedian podcasters are basically going into this space and pushing out the other ones because of, number one, the power of the Joe Rogan podcast. It was funny when he said he's basically running the country from Austin. He's not wrong. Trump administration officials are considering who to send and if they're going to send someone to alleviate the stress within the electorate around the Epstein files to pour water on the fire. That says something about his podcast. And I know you guys know it. A lot of people know it as well. We have covered the Rogan podcast a lot. There was also another moment that stuck out to me, and I don't remember who said it, but Bobby Lee may have taken a slight dig at someone like Tony Hinchcliffe, who I have thought for a while had a good concept because I like seeing up-and-coming comedians. It's just that Tony Hinchcliffe is bad. He's really bad. But I love the model. I love the content idea. Truthfully, I do. And I thought it was original and I thought it was dope. But when he said, I'm thriving, it sounded like that might have been Tony Hinchcliffe. It very well could not be. But the description seemed to match the identity of the person that I am naming. Most importantly, Maron is an OG in this space. He has been around for so long. He has been doing it for so long. He has discussed so many different topics with so many important people, funny people, etc. And he's still got it if you watch his special. So when he speaks, STFU and listen. Because he honestly has a lot of really good takes. He's like a super lib at heart, judge as you will, but he's also super anti-Israel. Like super, super, super. And he put that in a lot of people's heads a very long time ago, which I'm appreciative of. But in turn, through all the guests and his idea of the beauty and art of being a comic, what he sees is the decay by some of the worst people that are, his words, taking up space and pushing the weird people out, which we have a problem with, and I'm sure you do too.